Woodsydoc here. Well, I've been asked about these healing wands. Specifically, what are they? How are they used? And how do you make them? So in this video, I'm going to answer those three questions. So this video will also show you how I got the name Woodsydoc. It's a perfect combination of using my woodworking with my medical practice. So first and foremost, you have to find your stick. That's actually the funnest part of it all. This piece is my absolute favorite. It's very special to me. I found this when I was on a 5-day backpacking trip with my 3 daughters up in the Sierras. This is the root of a juniper. So, you know, like most junipers, it has that swirl pattern that goes all the way around. So first step, if your piece of wood has bark on it, the bark has to come off. Sometimes it's easy enough to peel it off. It gives me something to do while I'm hiking. If that's the case, I can just work on peeling it. Sometimes it's really too adhered on there, so you can use a mouse sander and sand it off, or maybe use a little chisel and try to get it off. You just be careful with the chisel that you don't, put a ding in the wood. So I just like peeling it off personally if I can get it off. Second step, once the bark is off, then I start sanding it. It's all done by hand. I'll start with a pretty rough grit, like either a 60 or an 80 grit sandpaper. Usually the healing wand's probably starting with an 80. Then I move up to a 120. With the 80, you're getting off any rough edges. Sometimes there's little knots or something that really needs to be sanded off. 120 gets a little bit smoother, and then moving to either like a 220 or 240. And that's where you're just getting the real fine sanding and keeping it really smooth. It's almost like a powder that comes off when you're at the 220. The main thing when you're sanding, obviously you're sanding it to get it really smooth, but you also have to keep it pretty symmetrical and uniform going around it. So sanding could leave an edge, and you want to be careful not to have any edges as you're going around. Here's a wand I made for one of my daughters. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. I also found this in the woods hiking somewhere near Lake Tahoe. What's so cool is it has this burl on it. And I put the Herkimer diamonds in here. I put other jewels around the collar up here and some more Herkimers up front. What I love about it is that it looks like a little bird to me, maybe a vulture or a hummingbird or something. But what I want to say about this piece, it has this awesome burl on it. It's what I really loved about it. So when you have something like this, or any wood really, little critters can get in there, little bugs, also bacteria or fungus. So what I do, especially a small piece like this, is I'll put the oven on its lowest setting, basically warming, maybe 175 degrees, and put the wood in there, maybe for about 40 minutes or so to kill any of the fungus or bugs that might be in there. For all my wood pieces, I finish them after I'm done sanding with a beeswax finish. So what I do is I'll grate the beeswax really fine. Then I'll mix it with turpentine, is what I used to use, but now it's outlawed in California. So any kind of oil, you can use linseed oil or grapeseed oil. Mix that with the shredded beeswax and then double boil it to where it's all liquid, and then let it harden up again. And it forms like a soft, like a paste. So then it's easy to just rub on the piece of wood. Then I get the hot gun, and hot gun will let the beeswax seep into the wood to give it a really nice, all natural, organic finish. It makes it smell pretty good too. I love this piece here. because it has so much red and orange in it. It's really beautiful. This one I found in Alaska in the Girdwood forest. Absolutely love it. It has a little Herkimer diamond on the tip, one on this end, and it has this amazing defect. And that's what I look for in my wood, is some kind of defect like this. And I was able to put my Herkimer diamonds right in there. Now, so the thing with adding any kind of crystal is I tried several different ways to adhere them to the wood, and what I find works the best is epoxy. But you do have to be careful because some epoxy will dry yellow. If it doesn't dry clear, it'll turn the diamonds with a yellow tint, which will make them look more like an amber. What I love so much about these Herkimer diamonds, they are crystals. They're found in upstate New York in a town called Herkimer. But I love them because they really do shine like a real diamond. They're really cool. So they're my favorite crystal to use on my wands. For my patients to do this at home, I have them first try to get into a relaxed state. So the easiest way is to do it first thing in the morning before they get out of bed. That way their body's naturally in that state already. They can do it throughout the day, and I also recommend that. The more often they do it, the better. So what I recommend then is listening to like a YouTube video on yoga nidra or some kind of guided meditation to help them get into that relaxed state. Some people recommend doing it at night before you go to bed. This is also a great time, but I do find without the help of maybe a meditation that their mind does seem to wander at that time. So in my office, I'll lead them through a body scan. I'll have them visualize a white light, say like pure energy. I have it coming in, having them feel the sensation with their eyes closed of a white light hovering over their head, where they can feel the warmth or the tingling of this energy. Then I have them visualize it going in their head, and I can do the body scan with them using this healing energy method. Have them, as the energy goes in, relaxing their forehead, relaxing their eyes, their cheeks, down their jaw and their neck. So I'm just going to give an example of one patient who had a wound on her toe that has been there for quite a while, and the reason it wouldn't heal is because she didn't have the circulation to heal it. She was vascularly compromised. So for her, I had her visualize the white energy coming in, the white light, and relaxing as it goes down. For her, as this energy went to her heart, I had her circulate, imagine it circulating around her heart, then going in her heart. So white energy, white light coming in, going to her heart, full of pure love, healing energy, going around through her heart. And as it exited her heart through the arteries, I had her imagine that white light flowing down her aorta, flowing down the arteries in her legs, and going to those areas where she had a stenosis, where there was a narrowing of the artery and blood couldn't go through. I had her visualize that white light pushing its way through that vessel, opening up the walls of the vessel, opening the vessel, allowing the light to go through. And beyond that, I had her visualize the white light going through and then blood coming through to follow it. So for her, this patient who did not have good circulation, here I'm having her imagine blood flow going down her legs, going down to her lower leg, to her ankles, to her foot, out to her toe, to where the wound was. So that's where the healing wand can come into play. As you're visualizing this energy flowing through your body, going out, the wand, you can use the wand to help push energy, to help move this energy, to help move the light, the blood. You get to where you can feel the energy coming from the wand. Let's back up a little bit. So coming from the wand, the light's coming down, the blood is flowing behind it, going out to the wound, and then circulating around the wound, bathing the wound with nourishment, with blood, with growth factors, with all the healing properties that it needs. Again, if you lose focus, you come back down, remember what you're doing, blood flowing, energy coming, light, back to the area of the wound, healing it, closing it, healing it from inside out, feeling that energy. So this can be done all throughout the day. Patients, instead of thinking negative thoughts go into that wound, they're frustrated, they can't work, they're angry. It's bringing a different kind of energy of healing, which is very positive, a positive form of healing, and it definitely speeds healing when you send a different type of energy to it. So that is one way of healing with these wands, moving the energy, focusing the energy, focusing on what area specifically. This is not a magic wand, although kind of is, really. But my recommendation to you, to everyone who's watching this video, is to go outside and find yourself a stick. Any stick, doesn't matter. If something calls to you, grab it. If there's something beautiful, grab it. But get the stick. You don't have to sand it. You don't have to add anything fancy. You don't have to add crystals or anything. But just go get a stick. And especially if you're out in nature, Japanese call it Shinrin-yoku. It's forest bathing, feeling that the energy of the trees around you. It's very healing. So get a stick and start with relaxing yourself, like the body scan, relaxing your head, your forehead, your cheeks, chin, down your chest. Focus on that, and with your stick, just use that. Once you're relaxed, use it on your body, whatever area, guide your stick over it and see what you feel. You can feel it. You can feel the warmth of it, the tingling without touching. I'm not touching anything. You can feel the vibration from it. That's with any stick. That's not sanded, no crystals, nothing. Sanding it, using the crystals, makes it beautiful. It makes it more pleasing to the hand. Crystals do have the healing properties. All different types of crystals have different types of properties, which you can read about or learn about on YouTube. The thing about making a healing wand is it's really satisfying. It's very meditative in itself. Just, the focus you have on it and the feeling you have of really creating something that's going to be beautiful. That's what woodworking in general does. It's that focus you put into creating a piece. And any type of meditation, including woodworking, kind of slows you down a little bit. It lowers your blood pressure. It increases endorphins in your body. And it does help get rid of stress hormones. It's all very, very good for your heart. Just the act of making something like this is healing in itself. So, my friends who are watching my video, please go out, find yourself a stick, try to make yourself a healing wand, have the feeling and the excitement of your creation while you're making it, and see what woodworking and especially working with energy and working with healing, see what it does for you.